This PowerPoint presentation is to address obesity in both childhood and adulthood as an introduction. It also explains how different communities and the government are working together to improve obesity. And it also seeks to let readers know about the plan and the recommendations for obesity. Wellness in society. The role of wellness can be shaped by many different factors, but I've listed a few here below. It can be shaped by our parents because, in relation to how they view what constitutes a healthy baby, their view can indirectly shape the intake of needed nutrition as it is shaped by society and access to healthy food groups. It's also shaped by cultural norms and beliefs. Uh, for example, vegans, they're going to raise their child to not eat meat, so they probably would be a little bit more healthy in comparison to some cultures like the African culture who believe that a heavy baby is considered healthy. The 8 dimensions of wellness model also impacts the role of wellness. Um, I believe that the 8 dimensions of wellness has shaped our idea of wellness in that it provides a sort of foundation in which we can build on to optimize balance and promote health and wellness. This next slide addresses a force for social change. I think that, as we spoke about in the previous slide, how children mostly are influenced by their surroundings, their parents, the schools that they attend. Um, I think it's important for communities and schools and the government to come together collectively and implement wellness programs to educate and promote a healthy lifestyle. Um, that's the only way that we can actually tackle obesity at a young age to prevent some of the more serious complications that um, are developed later into adulthood. For example, heart conditions and high blood pressure, stress. There's a number of factors, long-term effects that can happen. As far as as far as adults, I think that um, a force for change can be seen in the many advertisements of weight loss, exercise plans, promotion of healthy foods over the last years. A lot of times you'll see celebrities that are on TV or promoting different dietary plans or exercise equipment and gear. I think that all of this shapes and molds and helps for a healthier population. So continuing speaking about adults, this slide addresses the wellness influences in adults. Um, a lot of adults make the decisions that they do as far as eating habits based on their economic background or environment. Um, Americans who live in poverty dense counties are those that are most prone to obesity. If obese people tend to come from impoverished backgrounds, then we might expect, that they have lower earnings as an adult. So I think that it's important as healthcare professionals that in the work field we offer job incentives to motivate a healthier lifestyle. Um, if we are offering incentives and a good healthcare plan, then ultimately the performance and productivity of adults will increase and they will use less healthcare. If people are using less healthcare, then basically in return the burden to physicians and hospitals and the high cost in healthcare system would also decrease. This slide is just a percentage, just to show percentages of obesity and overweight in different ethnicities. So as you can see in the Asian culture, the Black culture, the Latino population, and the white population, you can see where both Black and Latino, which are usually those living in poverty or a minority group, suffer from obesity and overweight a lot more in comparison than to the Asian culture and whites. Some of the positives versus the negatives of obesity. The positive outlook is on obesity is that it is a preventable risk factor for coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, respiratory problems, high cholesterol, many more long-term effects can be prevented as long as you try to address the issue from childhood into adulthood, and just even at adulthood, taking care of your body at an early stage can reduce the risk of some of the more serious complications. Another positive is that communities, again, schools, and the government, it's all being made aware. So awareness is being raised and the issues are being addressed appropriately. Some of the negative outlooks on obesity is the socioeconomic factors. Um, they play a huge role in the behaviors of eating healthy and receiving care. Like individuals with lower income and education levels are more likely to become obese. The children whose parents are living below the federal household poverty level have an obesity rate at 2.7 times higher than those living in households exceeding 400% of the federal poverty level. Children living in low-income neighborhoods are 20% to 60% more likely to be overweight or obese than children living in high socioeconomic status neighborhoods with healthier built environments. Um, Another negative outlook is the easy access to cheaper foods. So a lot of times you will see TV advertisements targeting specific cultures and populations. Technology is a huge factor. A lot of the times kids are sitting at home and playing on electronics instead of getting out and exercising, but a lot of times they are unable to get out and go to um, a safe environment, so therefore they are stuck in the house. So here you can just see some examples where children are sitting in front of the TV instead of going outside. The access to cheaper foods where a burger is 99 cents in comparison to a salad at $5. Of obesity in 1980 at the meeting of the Nutrition Committee of the American Heart Association. Dr. John Brunzo and Dr. George Bray discussed the lack of an organized American group with an obesity focus. The target populations for obesity is 18 and younger, 18 between 25 and 25 and older. It also targets the low income and those of low education, those residing in poor environments. The plan for obesity, the recommendations are basically limiting unhealthy foods, increased physical activity, limiting the amount of time in front of the TV, improving sleep conditions, and reducing stress. Again, we talked about implementing healthier meal plans in the school system, as well as in the local communities, offering, you know, a better access to healthier foods is would be ideal. The health clinics getting involved with affordable care for these individuals who have become obese and developed some of the long-term effects. And again, stressing the fact that jobs and work environments should offer incentives and wellness programs within the company that help motivate individuals um, so that we are a healthier population. And that concludes the PowerPoint presentation.